Okay, so it looks like Bakhmut has been taken completely. Of course, I heard some conflicting reports. Apparently, there's like 600 square meters that gotta be taken, but that's nothing. So, yeah, it looks like Bakhmut has fallen completely. All right, cool. Got one guest so far. One like. Thank you, wherever you are. Perfect. Yes, yes. Oh, it's Darth Kilhoun. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Yes, the so called Citadel. Well, I guess the Ukrainians turned it into Citadel. That could have been prevented, but they didn't want to prevent that. They turned it into a Citadel. Honestly, it makes no sense. If you look at the map, there are so many other locations where they could have went. They could have retreated to and created like an awesome defense line. There's so many opportunities that they just missed, and yeah, like it all just went down the drain. Like for example, like whenever like Russians had to give up a city, it's not with any major losses. It's usually the opposite. Like usually Ukrainians will have suffered a major loss, and then the Russians will leave. Like they'll do damage to the Ukrainians first, and then the outnumbered Russians would simply leave a settlement, and then of course Ukrainians will take over the settlement and acting like as if like acting as if they beat up the Russians. Russians retreated, and like in reality, it's just that the Russians usually just if they give up a settlement, they just leave. They don't they don't stay there for too long, like especially if they cannot hold it, especially if they're outnumbered and they realize that's not just that's not important for them to hold on to it. They'll just let it go. Ukrainians don't have that mentality. They have this mentality of we got to hold on to something to the very end. And there you go. They've been holding on to Bakhmut to the very end. Look what it did to them. Yeah, I'm just waiting for more people to join the stream. See their chats. So far, there's only one chat here, so I'm gonna try to share this. Bam. All right. Yeah. Wearing the Bearcat shirt today. Yeah, so like according to Reuters, Russians are apparently retreating from Bakhmut, and well, that's BS. And I kind of noticed that whenever Russians, lately, whenever Russians had to kind of give up a couple meters, they'll kind of give like 50 meters to the Ukrainians. And news articles all over the mainstream news will say Russians are on the run. Wow, it's like let's witness soldiers regrouping somewhere and call that a retreat. Sure, in a sense, it's a retreat, but it's a tactical retreat. It's not really it's not some kind of panicked retreat where soldiers are just running. They cannot hold on anymore. Yeah, yeah, and whenever Russians retreat, um, it's usually done in a way where there's damage for the Ukrainians. And I've mentioned this before. Russians, if they cannot hold something, they just don't hold on to it. Like I mean, unless there's some kind of vital strategic importance, that's a different story. But if they just cannot do it, they just won't do it. They'll just leave. And while Ukraine, on the other hand, would just hold on to the very end. Tactical withdrawal is the correct term. There you go. Nerd. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Although, aren't you artillery, right? If you're artillery, yeah, or whatever your MOS was. But yeah, pee poo poo. Yes, for the Ukrainian side, totally. So I wonder what the Ukrainians are going to do next.